Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, John. It's been an opportunity for us. Absolutely. So many people leaving. I'm at the age right now where almost every month somebody I know is leaving the planet, leaving the mortal coil. And some of those people I've known for a very long, it's just been a very difficult year. The last 2 or 3 years, actually, it's been like one. It's like, is this what it's going to be like? It's like being the last man standing is not all that it's cracked up to be. When I was a much younger man, I delighted in, I'm going to outlive you all. That was my ultimate revenge. I will outlive you all. And then we'll see. Because if I'm still alive and you're dead, that means I'm right and you're wrong. That was my primitive thinking at the time. But now I'm like, if you're the last man standing, that means you buried a lot of people. And it deepens you. And it's helped me with my faith and my consciousness. But it's also takes something out. You know what I'm saying about this? And so I'm approaching this last Sunday with a great deal of reverence. That's different. Yeah, a great deal of reverence. Because I know how important these days are. We just did a Kwanzaa service at East Bay Church last night. And some of the people I've known for decades, we're all showing up in our regalia, we're doing our thing. And I'm noticing, wow, we look old. We got my grandsons here from Chicago. And, we're always trying to, put some money in the grandkids' pocket. If you can do some chores, I'll do this. And did I tell you guys this last week? No, I told you, somewhere I told this story. Offered Malik, one of our oldest grandsons, he's 17. We're like, you do the refrigerator, we'll give you, $40. We do the freezer, blah, blah. And he looked at us and he said, I can't take your money. You guys are just so old. You just need help. You can't keep up with all the work around here. And I'm like, why, you little... How dare you speak to me this way? You're so old. And I realized, my God, it's like I've crested the hill now. It's like nobody wonders. I remember as a young man, especially a young black man, back, of course, during the Revolution, it's like you really wanted to be looked like as a man. All young men want to be thought of as a man, but as the history of being called boy as an African American is so large, it's a big deal. But little children don't care what you think, and they don't care what your problem is. They call it the way you see it, and as long as they see a boy in front of them, they're going to call you boy. So you got to kind of let that go. And I remember one day I was walking down the street, and I heard some kid calling, sir, mister, sir. I'm just walking. He keeps yelling up, and I turn around and said, oh my God, he's talking to me. I'm a sir. I made it. And now I'm on the other side. You're just so old. Well, you had a good run. God is good, yes? Yes. We begin with Margaret Mead every Sunday. Never doubt. Okay, I thought that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can make a difference in the world. Indeed, that's all that ever has. The only thing that ever makes a difference? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's the end of that. That was funny. Wow. But I appreciate the dedication, the commitment. Every change is a result of commitment. She says a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens. Citizens means to dwell within. To dwell within what? To dwell within a consciousness that a difference can be made, that there's more to what's going on than what's in appearance, that there's more to this circumstances that I can see, and that there's more in me than there is in what I'm looking at. Are you with me so far? In order to make a difference, you have to be willing to reject status quo. Everybody in here, I know a secret about you. I'm going to say it out loud. You're a malcontent. Everybody laugh. Yep, you got me there, Rev. That was easy enough. Otherwise, you'd be doing something more traditional today than being here, right here with us, right? And so there was something in you that said, there's more to me than flesh and bone. There's more to me than what's going on in the world. There's more to me than my physical needs for rest or food or whatever it is. Something compels us to pursue a greater calling, a higher awareness. And I don't want to get into the hierarchy of what, but you know what I mean? That when I say higher, I mean a place that we rarely go and that a lot of people don't go to. It's not really higher, it's deeper, actually. You know, I remember Dr. Francione, who helped design that wonderful stained glass right there. She's a great artist. And she did a workshop one time. And, well, she did several workshops, not just one. And I was in one. And she wanted us to draw a picture of, like, going to talk to your higher self or something like that. And she put it up, and I kept thinking, but I don't really have a self to do that with. I flunked art, by the way. I forgot to tell you that part of the story. I needed glasses as a child. Nobody knew I needed glasses. I couldn't see the subject, so I'm not drawing the subject properly. I don't know if I flunked art, but I was really, really bad at it for 3 years in a row. So I feel like I failed art. And when Dr. Francione came and looked at my picture, she said, well, that's really good, Moata, but it looks like you're going down to yourself. It looks like you're descending. And I was like, yes, yes. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to show that it was like an inner victory for me because like, well, you could draw, you could see. And I could see it in my mind's eye. This is where our power is. What can we see in our mind? What am I willing to see? Am I willing to not see? I'm hearing Michael Beckwith here. When we believe in what we don't see more than what we do see. Did you get that part? When we believe in what we don't see, more than what we do see, then we will see what we don't see, and we won't see what we do see. Yes, you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And so we've always had a change agent, something in us that says there's more to me than this. Dr. Holmes says there's more to me than flesh and bone. There's more to circumstances and how they appear. Because everything has a spiritual component, and in spirit we're all one. And if we're all one in spirit, that means everything that I'm looking at, everything that I see is not separate from me, it's not different from me, and therefore it's not greater than me. Yes? Not greater than me means I can affect a change. Yes? And so there's something inside of us, each of us, that's like, not to me, everybody, but this doesn't apply to me. I heard it my whole life. You think the rules don't apply to you. Has anybody heard that besides me? Because we're rule breakers. We can't help it. The rules don't, it's not like the rules don't apply. The rule's stupid. It applies to people who are stupid. I'm sorry, what that's because stupid people think they have to do it this way. I'm just telling the truth about everybody in here, okay? I'm not saying it's nothing wrong. Sometimes I'm stupid. Stupid just means you don't know, and so you're just following road. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Maybe I shouldn't use because people have a pejorative against the word stupid.
Uninformed.
You like uninformed better?
Ignorant, unaware.
They're not uninformed.
They're not.
They're informed. They choose this because it's conditioning. We choose what fits for us. Okay, and if you like this flavor of Kool-Aid, then drink that flavor. We're all drinking some kind of Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the guy that's all there is Kool-Aid, and I love it. Okay, and so people look at me like there's something wrong with me. They want to ostracize me because they think that I'm the weird one, and I like being the weird one. I guess I'm give yourself permission to be weird. Give yourself permission to be different. Give yourself permission to not fit in. Give yourself permission to be a malcontent, to question authority, to break the rules. Man, that's what I did. And I continue to do it. God knows Kwanzaa is a holiday African Americans have as a response to Christmas, quite frankly. And not necessarily this response to Christmas, but the commercialization of Christmas. You know, my mom told me one time she put so many things on layaway. There were 7 of us. And back then, if you didn't have the credit, you could put things on layaway. But even it might have been even her credit card, but she's letting me know that she was still paying off the Christmas from last year when Christmas rolled around the next year. And I could see how that could happen once I began to have children. But Dr. Maralanga Karanga, who created Kwanzaa, said we need something different to happen, especially since we didn't really have a holiday. And so he created the 7 principles of Nguzo Saba, and it's based on the ceremonies and rituals in West Africa called first fruits, the first harvest, and what you do with the first harvest and how it's shared in the community. And so there's these 7 principles, and every day, the first day after Christmas, you do one of the principles, and one person will say, Habari Gani. Habari Gani is Swahili for what is the news or what's happening. And then you shout back the principle. Today's principle is Ujima, U-J-I-M-A, collective work and responsibility. So I'm saying, habari gani, you say,
Ujima.
habari gani,
Ujima.
habari gani,
Ujima.
collective works and responsibility, which means basically we're all in this together. That's not a difficult concept, right? They say if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you take people with you. Brother Nigel, I'm quoting you, Brother Nigel, because I've evolved. And I can say your name in love now. He would talk about people wanting to create. He said, everybody wants to know how they're going to get things done. He said, it's not a how question. It's a who question. Who's going to help me? Who's going to help me? Because if we're going to get anything big done, we're going to need help. So we have to break that idea, that rugged individualism from our society, that I stand alone, and we have to, Uma Robin has an idea about making phone calls and how difficult it is. You got to lift that 5,000-pound receiver and communicate. I find that very, very trying, but I work on it. So Kwanzaa doesn't give us seven ideas or seven. It's not just 7 ideas or 7 principles. It's 7 assignments. 7 things we can do to enhance our own lives and the lives of our community. Because we know that our community is us. I keep trying to stay on topic here, but everything keeps popping another story in my head, and so I'm doing my best. I want to, because you know I'm like on the first paragraph, and but I was talking to this guy who has an African restaurant. Good food there. I like African food, eating with my hands and all that. Another guy, he's been there like 20, 25 years. A lot of foot traffic come to see him. Another guy opens a restaurant right across the street. I said, doesn't that make you mad? This guy's just going to come and take advantage of all the foot traffic, all the pioneering work you did to get this area where people come here looking for everything. Now he's going to put a place right across the street, haven't done no work, and get all your efforts for free. He said, no, I don't worry about that at all. Competition is not my problem. Bad competition is my problem. I hope he has good food there. I said, what are you talking about? He says, if a guy's in New York and he has African food and it doesn't taste good, when he comes to San Francisco, he won't try my food. He said, but if the food isn't good in New York, when he gets to my food, he'll try my food too. I don't fear competition. I fear bad competition. Another story to illustrate this is the farmer who had the prize corn. Every year he got the blue ribbon. Every year for the last 10 years he got the blue ribbon. Everybody knows who's going to get the blue ribbon. And yet he shared his corn with his neighbors. Every year he would share some of his corn with his neighbors. And the guy says, what are you talking about? What? They might get better corn than you. And you won't get the blue ribbon anymore. He says, you don't understand how pollination works. The animals that pollinate, the bees and the insects, they don't know where my property ends and his property begins. If he has inferior corn, it's going to bring down my corn. The only way I can keep having good corn is to make sure my neighbor has great corn also. Are you picking up a theme here? Collective work and responsibility. So that's what we're being called to today. Habari gani? There will be a test later. And so, there's something else that wants to resist because we live in that culture. Oh, I've already been past that part. Okay. Ujima doesn't ask who's at fault. Ujima asks who is willing. Not who's wrong, who's to blame, who's willing to step up and do something about it. Who's going to help me? Who's in it with me? It's not charity, it's not pity, it's not fixing people so we can feel spiritual. Ujima is a shared ownership of reality. It says, if the house is on fire, we don't argue about who struck the match. If the village is hurting, we don't ask who deserves care. If the system is broken, we don't spiritualize our way out of our responsibilities. That spiritual bypass, we just keep saying everything is okay, everything is okay, everything is okay. Well, if you have a consciousness that says everything is okay, then you get to say everything is okay. But if you're just saying everything is okay because you're terrified and don't know what else to do, I'd rather you say everything is okay than say everything is horrible. But that's not what we're talking about. Are you with me so far? Ujima teaches us a radical truth. If I benefit from the structure, I inherit responsibility from the outcome. That's something that's hard to get to sometimes, because sometimes we benefit from the structure, but we don't think we're to blame for whatever the structure is doing to the other people that don't benefit. Well, guess what? Ujima's not about blame. Nobody's saying that you're the blame. As a matter of fact, religious science is not about blame. We have what we like to call, at least I like to call it, a no-fault spirituality program, no-fault insurance. Nobody's the fault. See, the problem with that is all my villains get to go free, and I'm not so happy about my villains going free. Some of them, I still got some work to do on them. I'm just saying that for the people in the room that still have that, because I've evolved beyond that, of course, you see. Yes, I make so many sacrifices. If I inherit responsibility, no, if I benefit from the structure, I inherit responsibility. Everybody benefits from the structure, one way or the other. Everybody. And even to the point where right now with all my grandchildren in the house, there's the adult privilege. You know, we left our 17-year-old in charge, and the 14-year-old wants to know why he has to be in charge. Because he's been looking after you your entire life. That's why. And he has privileges you don't have. That's the way the game works. Some people are going to get things, and some people ain't going to get things. But you know what makes a difference? Gratitude. Gratitude for what we have. Gratitude is letting go of what we don't have so we can appreciate what we do have. What's gratitude?
Letting go of what we don't have so we can appreciate what we do.
What does that mean? Tell them what it means. We have a new person. What's your name again? Claire. She's getting it. I know. Tell them, Claire.
I feel like you already worded it so succinctly. Like not focusing on what you don't have so you can give full appreciation and attention to what you already have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't read this book. I have a tendency to buy books and then just get whatever I can get off the cover and the few pages I look into. Because there's knowledge in the book, and I'm just looking for the knowledge that's for me. And Muktananda has a book called Getting Rid of What You Haven't Got. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be about that. Getting rid of stuff you're holding on to that doesn't matter at all and means nothing. It's not even about you. But I hold on to this false identity because I've grown up to believe that this is who I am. And once we enter the stream of consciousness, we have to be willing to let go of all the stories we've been telling about ourselves. The hardest story for me to let go of, quite frankly, and this is crazy because thank you very much, it puts me at odds with certain parts of my community, and I've been at odds with people who've done this before. I got to stop being a 6-foot-tall black man in America. It has its privileges. It has its disadvantages. And I'm not limited by the privilege or the disadvantage. I'm beyond my physical appearance. I'm beyond my education. I'm beyond my family. I'm beyond my cultural approaches. I'm beyond my religion. I'm beyond every story that's ever been told about me and every story I have accepted as a truth about me. As an infinite, immortal being, there's something about me that's greater than all of this. And what we're about doing in this particular center at this particular time, this particular philosophy, is cultivating the idea of oneness throughout the realm with everybody. Every place we go, we are the representation of oneness, which means we are walking our talk and living our life in such a way, as the scripture says, everybody who sees us coming can see who sent us. They can see the light that we shine. And we are surprised. I'm still surprised when people come up to me and they're looking at the light in me and they're like, could you tell me this? Do you know about this? Well, why are you asking me? Well, you've got your light on, dude. You've been doing all this spiritual work. The light is on. What? Spirit of God is upon me. If you're walking in spirit, then people will be able to see that about you. And they will call you out on it. I came home one day, I got my big mama's boy. Mama, this guy, he started asking me if I'm a minister and asking me all this stuff. She says, Mama, how did he know I was a minister? How did he know? She's like, boy, you ought to be glad. The problem would be if he couldn't tell. You know? You have an authority that you're stepping into. I mean, one woman was in the foundational class. She was doing a play. She had a play going at the same time. It was opening night. And she said, everybody held hands, and they held circle. And someone said, well, someone should say something. And she looked up, and everybody was looking at her. What's everybody looking at me for? Your light is on. Okay? You can't do this work without turning on your light. Every time you accept the challenge of being one with God and even listen to the idea, the aperture of your awareness opens just a little bit more, and the light is not coming from outside of you. It's starting to stream from the depths of you. It's been held captive by the fear, captive by the stories, captive by the limitation, captive by the idea that somebody needs to pay. Lord have mercy. And do they need to pay? The problem is, I don't want to pay. Nobody wants everything they got coming to them. We've all gotten away with stuff. Anybody here never got away with anything? Do you want to be held responsible for every horrible thing you ever did? Or the worst thing you've ever done? No. I got a verbal ignite. Oh, hell no. There it is. Prisoners and prison guards are both in prison. Yeah, but one of them gets to go home. Yeah, but you can imagine he's got to come back the next day. Which is worse? Well, one of them can't leave. Yeah, but one of them can't. Both of them, neither one of them can leave. They both caught up in the system, yes? Man. Over here. So, this responsibility applies to families, churches, nations, and spiritual communities that speak of love but often hesitate when it requires a bit of effort. You with me so far? Sometimes it takes effort to be a loving community. Sometimes there's a child that makes too much noise. Sometimes there's somebody that might not have the greatest aroma. Sometimes there's somebody that just rubs you the wrong way. You know? Can we still be a loving community? Can we still be whole, perfect, and complete? Can we still be active in this idea? That's what Ujima is about. Because the truth is, we're talking about power without trying to be perfect. We got this idea that, still from was that Descartes, or was it, no. Yeah, that the universe is a clock. You know, all those planets are in orbit, and mechanical universe, and the ego's in charge of everything. We can learn everything, we can break everything down, and we are the top of the food chain. We know more than everybody. That perfection is trauma. Because nobody can live into it. Nobody's ever lived into it. And so we're all telling this big fat lie that our life has been perfect if we're trying to imagine a perfect life. And there's usually somebody in the family who holds on to that story more than others. I'm not the person who held on to it. Okay? Some, I think, might be more with the younger people. I don't know about that. But the most powerful families and communities and movements are not built on perfect histories, but shared commitment to repair. Ujima is about we're going to repair whatever happened. We're in this together. We're all what? We're all in this together. Built on shared commitment to repair. Family systems research tells us this. This is hardcore. I'm sorry I'd be the break bearer. The bad news and the good news here, people. Okay, I'm trying to go slow. I'm very excited. Okay, she's trying to say, you need to slow down. Thank you, babe. I'm going to slow down. Family systems research tells us this clearly. Every family transmits trauma. What's that now?
Every family transmits trauma.
So if there was trauma in your family, you know what that means? It means you're normal. It means this is what happens. This is life. It was supposed to be this way. See, this is the part we don't like. It's supposed to be this way. Because every family's doing it. It's part of the growth process. It hurts when you start to cut your teeth, right? Something different is happening. Every family transmits trauma. The difference is not where the harm occurred. The difference is whether the family can metabolize the rupture. What can we do about it? Together. Without requiring what can metabolize the rupture, without requiring unanimous agreement about the past. And oftentimes in family dynamics, this is where it breaks down because people can't agree on what actually happened. And they don't agree on what actually happened because even though it was happening to everybody at the same time, everybody's having a different perspective about what's going on based on who you are and how you see yourself. Isn't that right? The same thing is true in family and communities. Where am I? Right here? That's right, okay. Families heal. Yes.
What's the name of the book that you mentioned? It was about being able to acknowledge what we have instead of thinking we want something else.
You know, that was a quote. That was a quote I found. That gratitude is letting go of what you. The book, Letting Go of What You Haven't Got by Muktananda. Letting go of what you haven't got. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And give me a write-up. Tell me what you get. Oh man. Families heal not by rewriting history, but by choosing responsibility in the present. Perfection protects the story. Responsibility protects the people. Are you with me so far? Perfection protects the story. If I'm holding on to the perfect paradigm of what my family is, what my life is, as long as I keep insisting that it's perfect just the way it is, when it gets to stay just that way, it keeps the system in place. You can see there are people right now, the whole thing between the Whigs and the Tories that was in England, that came to the United States and was part of the Revolutionary War, that never ended. You still got Whigs, you still got Tories. They just changed the names. But it's still happening. Some people want a king and some people do not. The Confederacy never conceded. They just couldn't win the war. When I was a boy, and I kid you not, this must have been by 1963, I had Confederate money still. There was an admonition, because I'm a military brat, but there was a thing that said, save your Confederate money because the South will rise again.
So holding on to a narrative, no matter what that narrative is.
Keeps that narrative in place.
It may be bringing me pain, but I'm holding on to it, nonetheless.
And there's a value I'm getting out of that narrative. And it's like the low-hanging fruit. Yes, it's still sweet. Yes, it's still good. But there's higher fruit. And sweeter fruit getting more sunshine.
So that's perfection, protecting the, what is it?
Protecting the story. Perfection protects the story. As long as I'm trying to have a perfect story, then I get to keep that story. It's only when I'm deciding I don't have a perfect story that I can do something about it. In South Africa, the Truth Reconciliation Commission did not heal apartheid by perfect justice. Anybody who studied will tell you the justice was not perfect. Many people call Mandela sellout. He gave up too much. He left the structure in place. You know, it wasn't perfect. But it was healed by collective responsibility, testimony without guaranteed apology, acknowledgement without universal repentance, repair without complete closure. Desmond Tutu understood something profound, that healing requires a movement forward even when agreement is impossible. Can we begin to move forward anyway? Are we going to be stuck here until one of us is dead? Or somebody's idea has been ground into the dirt, which is pretty much the same idea. Are you with me so far?
Yeah. Crush them.
Crush them. Bend them to my will. I love it, stuff in the eddy of the ego. And if your name is Eddie, that's even better. But the civil rights movement was not pure. It had fractures and disagreements. Sexism was there, of course. Ideological split. I was in the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. I had to get out because of some of the stuff that I was witnessing right there. Movements collapse, and I like this, when purity tests replace shared purpose. A purity test means how close to the doctrine are you when hearing, not are you paying attention to what's happening in the moment, what the circumstance is, but how does it go against the doctrine? And I kind of do a little bit of that in religious science, so I'm kind of guilty. You get into an organization, there's the purist. But I'm just too much of a malcontent to stay there. I'm always thinking of something different. I'm always going beyond what's in front of me. There's always more. There's always what? More. There's always more. Ujima says, In Pure on July, we were looking at this on the way in, and we just had a moment, and I'm going to share with you. Huh?
Pure on July.
I said that?
Yes.
Well, you knew who I was talking to. You knew who I was talking about, though, didn't you? See, it says, when we fail, we fracture, we disagree, and we stay. This is the Ujima, and quite frankly, this is love in action.
Families or communities, say it again.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
If we're going to stay together, we're going to make it work. Expect failure. It just means that we didn't make the mark. We didn't do what we thought we wanted to do. Things happened out of the way, okay? We fail, we fracture. We disagree, and we stay. That means we stay present. We stay present for the love. We know the love is there. Our central nervous system is built in such a way that we can show us that Ujima is not just a moral thing or a cultural thing. It's also biological. Because blame fractures the nervous system. Trauma research shows that blame activates the brain's threat circuitry, the amygdala, locking us into fight, flight, or freeze. That's what blame does. My 14-year-old right now, I'm getting to observe him so much, and he's stuck into who's the fault. Who's to blame for this? Looking at his toes, looking at, why do my toes look this way? Who's to blame? Because he thinks something wrong with the way his toes look. And they do look weird. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, they're not perfect like my toes. I mean, what can I say? These are the jokes, folks. These are the jokes.
And it's neat because then when he looked at his grandfather's feet, he said, "It's not you. So who is it?"
Yeah, that's right. He did. He's still looking for the guy. Somebody messed up my feet, and I'm gonna find him. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We do that.
Of course. Yeah, he's just being an example for who we are. But there's a no-fault policy in this philosophy. Nobody's to blame. Nobody's at fault. Okay? It's just life. Blame says, I'm under attack. And the body responds with vigilance, reactivity, and exhaustion. But responsibility does something different. It restores agency. Responsibility activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for choice, meaning, regulation. Responsibility says, I can respond. I have options. And the agency is the signal this nervous system needs to settle. This is why blame keeps us stuck and responsibility moves us forward. Collective work and responsibility is not about blame. It's about being responsible. And responsible means I have the ability to respond. This is why, in my book, No One Owes You an Apology, that's not because you haven't been harmed. It's not because the pain isn't real. It's because waiting for an apology is outsourcing our power to somebody else. I can't move forward until they get their stuff together. Well, then, what if they don't get their stuff together? Well, I'm going to sit right here until they do. There was a time I had several things that I was willing to take to the grave. I was clear, I'm taking this to the grave. I'm never getting over this. And there was a certain power in that. I thought I had because I had that moral superiority, that I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm taking this to the grave. I'm going to be right till the day I die. I'm going to be miserable and pain about this to the day I die, trying to make sure you suffer until the day I die, but I'm the person who's suffering, trying to make sure you do it. I know nobody else has fallen victim to that besides me, so you don't have to worry about that yourself, but have pity on me. Blame wants to win, responsibility wants to heal. Okay, that's right. In the oneness paradigm, love cannot outsource responsibility. If we're truly unconnected, then the responsibility is how love moves through us. Love without responsibility, though, is sentiment. And responsibility without love is duty. Love without responsibility is sentiment. That's nice. I don't have to do anything about it because love is active. Love is always doing something. Love is a giving activity. So love without responding is sentiment. Responsibility without love is a duty. That's not love at all. Ujima teaches us how love becomes embodied by working together and knowing that we're all in this together. Are we in this together right now? Okay. We're going to do a call and response, but we won't do that. Get past that. I'm trying to get to the close here because I know that people have things to do. Man. Beloved, Ujima is not asking us to be perfect. Ujima is asking us to be present. Present to the work, present to each other, present to the sacred responsibility of being human together. May we stop asking who should fix it. And when someone said, ask not for whom the bell tolls for thee. My mom, Reverend E, coined the phrase, if I spot it, I got it. If you can see something that needs to be fixed. We actually had a phrase at East Bay when I was growing up at East Bay Church, that said, find the good and praise it. Look for something good to praise. And if you find something that's not good, figure out how to praise that too. Figure out how to bless it. Be the blessing for the world. May we stop asking who should fix it. Where we are? Is that where we are? And start asking how love wants to move through us. What is mine to do? How does love want an activity right now? You know, we always sing the WWJD, what would Jesus do? We can turn it into what would love do?
Yeah.
What would love do? That's what they're saying because that's their expression of love. So what would love do? I remember that one of my friends, deeply into the Christian spiritual practice, he would say, if you let Jesus fight your battles, you'll never get a scratch. I would say, if you let love fight your battles, you'll never get a scratch. My motto, my expression, where I find any conflict in the world with myself, is I will love you into submission. That is my goal. My goal is to be such a loving presence that whatever this tension is between us is dissolved, because I plan to make sure that I am not contributing any angst to this. And let me tell you something, people, that's a lot to chew on. Because sometimes we don't know how much angst we have in us until we have to deal with getting rid of it between a relationship. But that's why the problem came up, people. Because I'm a spiritual being. We're all spiritual beings on this path to unfoldment, to oneness, and the things that are in the way must surface. And that means people have to show up who tick us off. Circumstances that are not fair are required for growth. The baby is not just sitting in there and just all of a sudden is born. Ask the mama. That baby's in there kicking and moving around and making noise and moving furniture, and the mom's like, whoa, what the heck? Of course, as a dad, we don't know, because by the time we get, look, the baby's moving. You get, and the kid's like, not moving for you. But you're feeling me on this, yes? I had to write to somebody about pain the other day. I said, your mama hurt to get you here. It's part of the process. It's not that we're not supposed to have it. It's this crazy idea that we're not supposed to have it that keeps us trying to avoid it. And that's why the Buddhists say pain is necessary, but suffering is a choice. Suffering is the energy we use trying to get out of the pain. May we stop asking who should fix it and start asking how love wants to move through us. And may we remember collective work is how oneness becomes visible. That's how you know it's happening. People come in here, I hear it all the time, and they say there's a lot of love in here. And I'm always joyful because we look around and you look at the numbers, you think it might look like failing to some people. But when I hear that it feels loving here, I know that this is the most successful thing we can do, is to create a loving community where people can come through the doors and have a palpable feeling, that's redundant, a palpable realization of love, to know it's happening here. Collective work is now how oneness becomes visible. Collective responsibility is how love becomes real. And that's what we're doing today. Habari gani? Collective work and responsibility. Thank you so much. Namaste. We're not going to do it today, but I did wind up making a ritual about this that I think is really grounded and powerful. I don't know, but we'll have to do that another time. Maybe afterwards or something, but thank you all for today. We're moving into our time of sharing. Our time of sharing is an opportunity to once again practice collective work and responsibility. We're all in it together. We're all keeping these doors open together. Over, 70 years ago now, someone had a vision that there would be a spiritual center here in San Francisco. that people could come and hear this truth and know this truth and propagate this truth. And I'm just so honored to be among the lineage of those who's helping to keep it going, just like the rest of you. And so this is how we do it. We collect an offering because we're offering something of ourselves. This is love in action as we create the sacred community where people can come and know this truth. It's a growth port for me because, you know, I've lost a radio show and a TV show because I had trouble talking about money. And I had trouble talking about it because I was in judgment about preachers talking about money. And then I became one. And that's the ultimate. You become that thing that you hate the most so you can stop hating it and embrace it and use it as part of who you are. We're all in this together, people. It's happening to all of us at the same time. And that's the beautiful part of it. So thank you for whatever it is you came to share today. Consciousness, gratitude, finances, work, you know. I don't like to use the word volunteer because I'm from the military.
Service.
Service, thank you. Service, that's the word I'm looking for. Whatever it is that compels you to be a part of the whole and work within that whole, let that be the place where you spend your energy. And retreat to that place. There is no, and I don't want to sound like a pie in the sky by and by, because I'm not pie in the sky by and by. It's not by and by, people. It's right now. It's right now. So, I've talked on and on and on. I'm just having a good time. I guess I'm getting into this last Sunday of the year. Who knew I could have so much fun doing this? So, we have a prosperity affirmation. Please repeat after me. From a consciousness of abundance
From a consciousness of wholeness.
and centered in gratitude,
And centered in gratitude,
I generously give.
I generously give.
I accept the gifts
I accept
The
the
gifts
gifts
of prosperity and abundance
of prosperity and abundance
as I demonstrate
as I demonstrate
divine circulation in my life.
divine
Divine
circulation in my life.
In gratitude, I freely give.
In gratitude, I freely give.
In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
Thank you. God bless.
So it is.
So it is. And if you're giving online, thank you. The address for PayPal and Zelle is give@sfcsl.org. give@sfcsl.org. Thanks. Since love is why I'm here, I am an open channel. Since love is why I'm here, I give and I receive. Since love is why I'm here,
I am an open channel.
since love is why I'm here,
I give and I receive.
and receive. Give and receive. Ask. Ask and receive. Ask and receive. So it is.
Oh, giving thanks. Giving thanks for the community, giving thanks for the village, giving thanks for the love and the blessings of giving and receiving. I am knowing this moment that all the gifts, all the tithes, all the offerings, all the love, all the service, all the energy of wholeness is the energy of allness. And we accept these gifts in the fullness of gratitude, knowing that it blesses the giver and the receiver, for that is the same. And so it is.
So it is.
Remaining in a consciousness of wholeness, we enter our time of prayer. I invite everyone present to, as you are comfortable, close your eyes, take an inward breath, to just be still within your own being. Stillness transcends anything that is happening around us as we move into a space of deeper knowing. And I invite each one of us here to hold within the silence of our heart any person, any situation that we are called to release, to let go, to allow the presence of God to simply be with that thing. And I speak the word, I speak this prayer in first person, in present tense, using the language of I, because I stand in the awareness that there is only one life. And so as we hear those words of I invite each one of us to know, to absolutely know that what I speak as truth for myself is true for all, because we are one. And so I draw a deep breath of life, a deep inhale of the presence of life itself. And I exhale back into this atmosphere, the love that is the essence of my being. I stand knowing that there is only one life being expressed everywhere. This is by the name we choose: God, Allah, Spirit, Universe, Gaia. It is the Mother, Father, God of all beings. For I see and know that there is one creative power in the universe, one creative power that is the torrent of the hurricane, and it is the whisper of the wind. It is the rising of the sun. It is the illumination of the moon. It is that energy, that power that has raised every mountain, that has carved every valley, that has rooted every tree and causes all waters to flow. That same life has breathed its very breath as my existence. I am one.
Yes, 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 yes.
And the breathing of my breath, its inhale and exhale without my conscious permission, is a witness to the fact that there is always that power breathing me. One breath, one life, one heart beating in full synchronicity with the rhythm and the flow of all existence. That which we call God is continuously loving itself into existence. And so in this moment of that truth, in this moment of that deep knowing, I allow the space within my heart for the healing of all relationships, of anything that in my conscious awareness appears like an obstacle to my freedom. I let go of that suffering. I let go of the anger, of the resentment, of the fear. For in the wholeness and allness of life, these things do not exist. They are no thing trying to become something. And I vanquish it into the truth of my being, the truth of all life, drawing from a wellspring of full and eternal abundance. I know that love and peace and joy and power and creativity are the flow of my life. And so I surrender to this awareness. I fully embody myself in this truth, opening the aperture of my heart wide to embrace the allness of life itself, everything that has ever taken place in my life, everything that has ever been said or done by anyone, including myself, all anticipations, everything I call into my life. I know that each and all of it is an expression of God, and that I, myself, me, just as I am, are living this life in truth, in power. And I have the opportunity to self-correct, to bring the compass of my consciousness back into alignment with wholeness, with love, with peace, with joy, with power, with abundance. At any moment, I can begin again. And so I breathe this truth. I give thanks for this knowing. I am in absolute awe of life itself. And gratitude inundates my awareness this moment. And in that thanksgiving, I surrender this prayer. I release this word of truth fully and completely to the immutable law of perfect manifestation. And I trust that as it has been spoken, it manifests so fully in my life, so fully, so clearly. The grace of God is present in all things. And so together in one resounding voice of knowing and acceptance, I declare, and so it is.
So it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Been waiting all morning to sing this song.
Perfect.
Thinking of the title of that book, Letting Go of What I Don't Have.
Letting go
That's
of what I do not
profound.
have.
I do not have.
Yeah.
It's an illusion, huh?
Muktananda.
Yeah.
Muktananda.
I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender.
If you are moved to stand, it's a different energy. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change.
One more time.
I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yes.
Wow. What?
Thank you so much, John.
That was,
Thank you, everyone. I love the word surrender.
Yeah, isn't
I
it a
love
great
it.
word?
You know, in a generalized secular way, surrender has come to mean defeat.
Right,
You
yeah,
know,
that's true.
wave the white flag, you surrender, you've lost the battle. When we approach it from a spiritual awareness, the word surrender has deep, deep power. It means I am no longer struggling to control situations, to even control the way I'm responding to an experience. I am fully surrendering to a power that is so much greater than whatever is taking place in my life. Howard Thurman, a beautiful Christian mystic, used to say that if I could have only one prayer, it would be thank you, but it really would be I surrender unto transparency, so that the light of God shines through me so powerfully that everything else disappears.
May I say something,
Surrender.
Dear Anjali?
Surrender.
Actually,
Yes.
The definition of surrender is not give up,
Yeah.
but give over.
Over.
Give authority over. When the Japanese, they didn't give up, they gave the United States authority. They gave
Yeah.
over. So surrender means,
To give over to God.
there it is.
Yeah. To give over to God.
Means that having such a deep breath that my heart relaxes like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Absolutely.
beautiful.
That's the manifestation of it in your body.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we all know it, right? When we're hard, when our heart is hard, and when we've softened. And I guess today's talk is that we do that in community as well. It's a collective energy. There's something incredibly beautiful, and I want to say that about the choice that each of one of us has made today to come here, to be in the body of a village that knows the truth of who you are. And you know, it can sound like, oh, how woo-woo, but I can authentically say that I can look at each and every single one of you and feel that presence of love, to know who you are. How beautiful is that? And I'm standing here as a practitioner, but I can tell you there are moments when I don't see that beauty in me, and I can come to a community, I can turn to someone, and they can know the truth of me. I love that. Now that's surrender, because we could just stay home in our shell and be all pissed off and everything, and there's a lot of stuff to be pissed off about in the world, right? But I want to transcend that. I want to soften my heart, as Gabriela reminded
A
us
lot
of.
more to be grateful for.
Yeah, to be grateful. Yeah, to be grateful. So thank you is basically what I'm saying. It is time for our announcements. And so I always begin with gratitude, as I just did. I authentically mean that. I am grateful to each and every one of you. Reverend Mawata used to say more often that it's not the center and its people, it is the center as its people. You know, that we are what this service has been. If we have drawn anything from it, it's because we allowed ourselves to give something to it, you know. So,
I like that. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So I also want to announce that we have some beautiful upcoming events. The first one that's coming upon us actually this coming week is the World Peace Meditation. And it is exactly that, worldwide, in centers and churches and mosques and synagogues, in people's homes, in Science of Mind centers, all around the world, beginning at midnight in Greenwich, England, and then at the exact same hour, all the way around the world, people are gathering to meditate for an hour on world peace. So that time for us is 4 o'clock in the morning. We will be present here at this center at 4 a.m. on Wednesday, December 31st, which basically means, I like to describe this because it's like, whoa. You go to bed on the 30th at whatever hour, you set your alarm for 2:30, depending on how you want to come here. Most of us are in sweats. So 2:30 in the morning, and you arrive here by like 3:50 so that we can gather together in meditation. And we meditate in blocks of 15 minutes, first beginning with ourselves, because that's the only place peace begins, is within us. And then we move to our families, our communities, and the world. And at the end of that hour, about 5 o'clock in the morning, I will have fixed breakfast for all of us. And then we have breakfast together. We've been doing this for, I don't know, it's well over 20-something years, way over 20-something years. And we can see that the consciousness of peace in a collective community has just a palpable power. So I invite you to come join us for that, the World Peace Meditation. It's very beautiful. The next upcoming event is happening the second Sunday in January. The second Sunday in January, as the service will be the Burning Bowl. And the Burning Bowl is another time of release. So we are in meditation for what we're claiming for ourselves for the coming year or for our lives. And you write a letter to yourself. And we will give you an envelope that you address to yourself. And at the end of this coming year, in December of 2026, that envelope with that letter will be mailed to you. And you will have an opportunity to reflect upon what has taken place in your life, what you set a high intention for, what has manifested, what you maybe want to change your intention, however it appears. Many people have been sharing that they have gotten their envelopes and that things have manifested in their lives, you know. So then in addition to that, as a part of the burning bowl, everybody will be given flash paper. And on that flash paper, you would write what you're releasing, what no longer serves you, releasing it in love. And we literally light it on fire. Fire is a transformative energy. It both consumes and it allows the space for the new. And so that's the burning bowl. That's Sunday, January 11th.
Oh, okay.
Here
Thank you.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday, January 11th. Those two events. In addition, ongoingly, we have what's called our Fellowship Sundays. It's the first Sunday of every month. I love that energy. It's the first Sunday of every month. And that takes place here again. At the end of the service, we gather together. And I love this expression, where two or more are gathered, we eat. So it is an opportunity to break bread with one another. It's done by people bringing kind of a potluck style, but in addition, there is a call for service of anybody who wants to help in the kitchen. You do not have to cook to do this, right? It's really just heating up, more like finger foods or something, and then everybody gathers together to put it out, and we share a meal together. It's really wonderful. Yes, sometimes we're in our backyard in the beautiful garden when it's warm enough for us to do so. I say this every time I talk about this because I feel like it's really something for me that's a legacy. Many people in this community already know I'm from New Orleans, and we have an expression that says, make it a habit to fall in love with people who feed you. So it's a really nice service to feel like, you know, it's an additional expression of love. And I want to speak to that as well, because Reverend Watt, it was extremely timely during the service when you talked about letting go of things that can be irritants in our life or whatever. I want to say to Tony and Anthony, I don't know where Tony went, to your family, welcome. He talks about you guys so much. It's so beautiful to meet all of you. I don't know your names, but I know Zendaya and Royce for sure, and Delace. Thank you for being here. We have two autistic grandsons who are much, much older now, and we have another congregant who brings her daughter as well, who is on the spectrum. And I want you to know how welcome you are. It's a sound of joy, and that if we're a community of love, if we are unable to embrace neurodiversity, I don't know what we're doing. So thank you very much for being here and giving us that opportunity to love more deeply. Yeah. So, I don't know. Are there other announcements, John? I just feel like I got a mic. No, I'm kidding. Just going to keep talking. So the last announcement to make is that we have 3 practitioners available. Practitioners are those of us that have spent about 4 years, sometimes 5 years, in spiritual classes, learning to pierce the veil of appearance, to move past whatever the story is, whatever the narrative is, into that space of knowing, and allow that to dissolve into the truth and the power of the Spirit that is always available. Sometimes we've just forgotten. So we have 3 practitioners available for prayer if you are desiring it at the close of service. That's Gabriela, waving. That's Cindy, who I want to thank for holding vigil. Vigil is a high place in consciousness, embracing everything that's happening in a kind of meditative state. Cindy is available for prayer, and I'm available for prayer as well. So you're not bothering us. In order for the prayer to come into manifestation, it moves through the person praying. So you're blessing us with whatever it may be. All right. I think that's it, John.
Thank you.
I really am going to be quiet now.
Oh, you don't have to be quiet. You sing
Well, I'm
al-
going to sing.
Sing along.
Right.
Now that you're a singer.
Oh, thank you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember
who I am.
letting fear and worry fall away from me.
I open my eyes.
My heart and see.
My heart, oh yeah, yes.
There is
only love.
There is only love.
Love that heals, love that sets me free.
There is only love.
There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is
Happy New Year, everybody. If I don't see you before.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, the peace meditation is amazing. I invite everyone, encourage you to come.
Yeah.
Even though it's an
Yeah, you can go
ungodly.
home, and then you get to go home and take a very long nap, and then do whatever you do on New Year's
That's
Eve
right, you
night.
can do it in
Yes,
stages,
You do.
yeah.
You take a nap. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
I keep hearing music all day, and I'm hearing God has done so much for me. I cannot tell it all. The Lord has done so very much. I cannot tell it all. When I was sick and I couldn't get well, He healed my body. Now I can tell God has done so much. I cannot tell it all. God has done so much. God has done so much for me. God has done so much. God has done so much for me. I cannot tell it all. Giving thanks for yet another day, another breath, another moment, another heartbeat. In the stillness, recognizing one life, one mind, one power, one presence. We leave here today divinely inspired and empowered by Ujima, collective works and responsibility, and we know that we know. Please repeat after me. The light of God surrounds me.
The light of God surrounds
The
me.
love of God enfolds me.
The love of God enfolds
The
me.
power of God protects and watches over me.
The power of God protects and watches over me.
The wisdom of God guides and directs me.
The wisdom of God guides and directs me.
And the substance of God supplies, supports, and sustains me.
The substance of God supplies, supports, and sustains me.
Wherever I am,
Wherever I am.
wherever I go,
Wherever I go.
whatever I think, do, or say,
Whatever I think, do, or say.
God is.
God
And
is.
all is well.
And all is well.
So it is.
And so it is.
Let's gather in a circle and sing I Am the Place Where God Shows Up.
Place where God shows up.
I was waiting for him to get there.
Wait.
Here we go. I
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
We are.
We are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. We are the place where God shows up.
And you are.
You are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. You are the place where God shows up.
And I am.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Thank you. God bless us. Yeah. She like, that's right in the front. Somebody knows what's going on. Yeah. You're back? All right, then. So I'm going to be seeing you more regular then. All right, where were you in